Well, good morning, YouTube and beautiful coders out there. This is Angie the Coder, and as promised, I'm coming to you to do a video review of the AAPC coding software, or as I like to say, playtime with coding software. Now, there is a free, I think, 30-day trial membership that you can do, and if you can cancel it, you can sign up for the free trial, see if you like it. If you don't, you can cancel it. I actually went ahead and paid for it, and because you can also do that, you can pay monthly and you can stop at any time, or you can pay for, you get a discount if you pay yearly. I'm paying $40 a month, I believe it is, and so I can stop whenever I decide I don't want to use it anymore. But so far, I really like it. So let's just jump in and do a little tour. There, as you can see by looking at the screen, there's a lot going on here. The good news is there's this easy box in the middle. If you just want to do a lookup, say you could put in a CPT code. We'll put in 58150 for a hysterectomy, and you can hit the little search button, and there you go. There's your information. I'm gonna open this up a little bit for you. And you have the code, the CPT description. You can see that they have the CPT symbols, like, indicating that it's a female procedure. Then you have you have a code description down below. You also have lay term where they explain kind of the the procedure and tell you about it. I'm gonna hold on. Not trying to make you guys too dizzy, but I'm gonna close that. Some more stuff. They have I thought this was kind of cool. They have upcoming historical information. So it tells you kind of if you can look at this, it'll tell you, I'm sorry, upcoming and historical. So it'll tell you if there are any changes coming up. It'll also tell you what the description used to be and, when the coding information might have changed in the past. As you see here, this one, in 1/1/2010, there was actually a descriptor change. And so they tell you that. And they also tell you that the code was added in 1/1/1990. So these are important things to know. So let me close that. And you'll also see that there's an option to add the CPT Assistant as an add-on. I don't know what that costs, but I believe that will be a really good tool to add to this as well. I may be adding that in the future. And then you have your Medicare and Medicaid CCI edit alerts. You have the modifiers that are allowed. And if you notice, they have modifier P, that's your professional modifiers, and then you have modifier ASC and P. So let's look at the professional modifiers, and it literally lists the modifiers that can be used with this procedure. And that's pretty cool. And we'll close that. You can go out and look at your LCD, and what you do, you want to put in your geographical area. So let's put in 28166, which is here in North Carolina, and I'll just make it default for the heck of it. Or you can select your contractor if you, oh, wait a minute, actually. So I'm going to put in Mac, make that default, and hit LCD, and it'll pull up any related LCDs. And I'm seeing the locality associated with the zip code has no article for this code title. And then what it tells me to clear the zip code to see if there's anything else. So I'm going to clear that zip code. Actually take that out too. And we'll try it again and see. All right, and so it says this chosen contractor type has no article. So what if we take that out? All types and hit LCD. And there they are. And now you've got some LCDs to look at. And UE, which I love. And sometime, this is going to be a quick video, but sometime we can actually go into a little bit more detail on some of these functions. And then you have your cross references that you might need. Also, you've got the fee schedule. It'll give you the Medicare fee schedule. And there's just like, look, tons of information here. Just depends on what you need. There's an anesthesia crosswalk, which is awesome. That's an add-on though. You had to pay for that one separately. But if you were, I did have a job one time before where I was doing surgery coding, and I also had to do the anesthesia coding, so that would come in handy for somebody who's doing that. And so that's just doing a basic lookup using this box up here. In code sets, you can use keywords. So you can type in hysterectomy there and hit the search button. And there you go. Now you have some ICD-10 codes that are related to hysterectomy. You have your CPT codes related to hysterectomy. So you can go through them, and it's kind of like how if you were looking it up in the index. So that's how that works. This is one of the features that I fell in love with. It's the EM calculator. I really like this.
I've actually decided that I'm going to do a separate video where I actually go into serious detail on how this EM calculator works. I was going to add that to this video, but it's going to make this video way too long. So I think it'd be kind of cool for maybe I can address that in the next video. So stay tuned for that. Okay, so now we're going to jump in and take a look at the Global Days Calculator. So just click on the little button and go in there. And the first thing you want to do is select your date of service. So let's assume this patient's surgery is on, let's have it on January 3rd. And they had a hysterectomy, but all they had was the 58150. You can add other codes. Say if they had other procedures, you could add those in these boxes here. But my patient only had the one CPT code, 58150. So then after you get all your CPT codes in, you hit the search button and it brings it up. And you can, in the results, you can see down here that the code is 58150. There's a description. It tells you it's a 90-day surgery global. And the cool thing is it tells you that this patient's global surgery days will end on 4/2/20. So that's really, really helpful information. Okay, so now we're going to look at another cool feature, and that would be the claims edits. So if you go into claims edits, you have the choice. You can do Medicare. Well, actually, you can do real-time scrubber, which we'll have to do a whole separate video to cover that. That's going to be more complicated. You also have your Medicare CCI edits and your Medicaid CCI edits, and also links to the CCI policy manual for Medicare and Medicaid. And so those we're going to go into way more detail on, but I'm just going to give you a real quick tour of the Medicare CCI edits checker. This is a real quick down and dirty little tool. So if we click there, I already have it pulled up. What you're going to do is you can actually go in here and put the version you want. So we're going to use the most current version, which is 26.0, which is January 1st through March 31st, 2020. And I'm going to leave this locality as North Carolina, and I'm going to leave it as non-facility because I'm going to do this as a physician coder. And let's just put, you just come down below where it says number of codes, and you can just put your codes in. So what we're going to do is we're going to look up an office visit with an injection. 963. Oh, I think I'm putting in the right code. Yeah. This is always fun to do on the fly. So we're going to validate that, and it's going to come back up. And they ran the edits and see. Let me see if I can slow down for you a little bit here. So 99214, if you see, it says it's an office visit, and it does a CCI validation. It says the code is a column 2 code for 96372, but you may use a CCI associated modifier to override if appropriate, and that is very important. It must be appropriate. You don't just add the modifier. It also gives you a list of the NCCI associated modifiers that you would choose from. And if you come down here, then it says it also describes that you have a therapeutic injection, either sub-Q or IM, and it's saying that there's no edit, but the edit actually is on the 99214, so that's where you'd put your modifier. So there's a lot more to unpack here, but this is just a real quick down and dirty how to do it kind of thing. Okay, so another thing we're going to take a look at is the MUE functionality in the AAPC Coder. So if you go down to the very bottom on the left-hand side, you'll see a blue button that says Medically Unlikely Edits. If you click the little green arrow down, it's going to give you the Medicare MUEs and the Medicaid MUEs. We'll just play with the Medicare MUEs. They are different, so you do want to take a look at that. But say we have a Medicare patient or maybe a payer that follows Medicare. So what we're going to do, we're going to put in our HCPCS code. And for the purposes of this, we're going to put in, let's see, I thought of one. Oh, I know, we're going to use an ultrasound code, 76815. And say we got a denial. Say we billed 76815 times 2 on a patient. And we're going to do it, say it happened in 2019, although I checked and the edit is the same, I believe, for both years. Say it was fourth quarter. And we were like, why didn't we get paid for that? Why did they say it was an MUE edit? So then we're going to calculate this and see what they have to say. So say we build this in the physician office, right? The practitioner or physician services MUE is 1 MUE. And it says the rationale is because it's the code description, and we're going to look at that in just a second. And it gives us an MAI or an indicator of 2. So if you click on that 2 and go down here, see it says MAI 2. It's a data service edit, and it goes into detail about the fact that the payer should deny this particular CPT code if it's billed twice on the same data service, or if it's billed more than 1 MUE for the same data service. So, and this is stuff we can actually go into a lot more detail on in another video. So if we go back, what I'm going to do, because you're probably thinking, some of you guys, if you're not really super familiar with this code or you don't use it a lot, you might be like, well, why? Why in the world can't I bill that more than one time on a data service? And if you go back to your screen right here, just type it in real quick, 76815, because remember the indicator said it was based on code description. So let's look at the code description. I'm going to zoom in a little bit. CPT code for OB ultrasound limited fetus, and notice there's an S in parentheses. So this is for 1 or more fetuses, and so that's why they're saying you can only bill it times 1. So if you had a patient who came in with twins or triplets and you're trying to bill this code times 2, they're not going to accept it because it's got the S in parentheses, which says this is good for 1 or more fetuses. And if you look at your detailed description, it's going to say the same thing. 1 or more fetuses is right there. I'm pointing, but you can't see. And also, what's interesting is you can go ahead right here. If you were to look this code up, you wouldn't even have to go through that whole thing. You could look the code up like normally and then hit your little MUE, and it would bring it up for you right there. So there's more than one way to get to your answer. So I think that's really, really cool. Those are just a few of the really cool features of the AAPC coding software. As I said in this video, I'm going to probably do a series of videos where I go into each one of the major features of this software in way more detail and show some more examples. So if you like this kind of video and you like what I'm doing, give me a thumbs up. So please subscribe to the channel, click the bell for notifications of when I drop a new video, and everyone have a great year of the coder.